Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Morgan and I'm going to show you how you can be engaging your remote team from a point of understanding their personal drivers and motivations. Firstly, I want you to think about how are you planning on surviving for the next 6 months? Are you planning to survive or are you going to try and thrive through this crisis? Because the actions that you take now will affect your organisation and when you return. The way you manage, the way you communicate, and the way you engage your teams is what's going to be remembered. The last 3 weeks, we've been having conversations and getting feedback from leaders, business owners, and their staff from all industries and companies and organisations. And mostly, you know what, they're positive. They're feeling they're going to get through this. They're just putting their business on the norm hiatus for now. But we've actually spoken to your staff and we've got inside their mindset and we've understood their feelings and what they're actually dealing with internally. And some of them are guilt from loss of productivity. Some of these people, it's their first time they've ever had to work from home. So it's a huge change for them. Time management is a major issue. It causes stress. One of the conversations I've had more than once is people are having dreams of driving down a hill in a car and the brakes don't work. You know, this is the first time people in business are having lack of control. They're not in control of what they're able to do. So what's keeping you up at night? What we're going to talk about is the good economic foundations and culture. To have good economic culture is to have good economics. Without good culture, you can't have good economics. And these are the foundations of culture. We teach our organisations and we show them how to keep up their engagement. It's keeping up your employees on task and keeping them focused, but not just for business sake, but for engagement and for your business culture. Building trust builds trust in you. Right now, with all the stress that people are feeling, trust is depleted. Unfortunately, stress actually depletes trust. It's about building relationships. People don't necessarily know how to build a relationship now that it's remote. How do you build relationships online? How do you do it without personal presence? How do you manage behavior? You know, a lot of companies have their KPIs set and they're driven behavior by their KPIs. But how do you do that now without micromanaging from a distance? Now that they're at home. We're talking about communication with Matilda, and she's touched on about the different styles, and there's different ways of communicating. And that people need to hear things in their style to build that trust. But at the moment, it's about alignment of purpose and vision and values. Before, it was really easy for your employees to understand where they stood in the company. But at the moment, they're not understanding how their vision and values, how their life goals and career goals fit into this remote where we are now. So before COVID-19, you used to build engagement by hosting meetings. At the meetings, your staff would chit-chat in before and after and during, have little jokes in between. You would be able to set up the context of your culture and of your business at a boardroom, in a boardroom meeting. You would host social interactions, possibly drinks once a week or on Friday nights, or have bowling sessions, or have the office birthday cake. You would be able to recognize and reward your people publicly, which is a huge part of building that engagement in your culture. You used to be able to have training sessions together, get a team together and get them to be educated and learning and growing as a leadership together. Creating a team experience was a great way to build engagement and trust. But all of this has changed now. Now more than ever, it's important to understand what motivates your workforce. The great thing about it is the motivations I'm talking about are actually in that DISC report that we've just been discussing in the last 2 sessions. So it's nothing new, but it is about understanding how they work together. I'm going to touch on a little bit further and understand how people work with their preferred styles. But I'm talking about the way people need to be motivated to be productive, to better time management and to communicate. It's not just about doing 2 phone calls a day or 1 every second day. That doesn't work as a blanket approach. It has to be individualized based on their behavior and their style that they need. If you do it too often, you're actually going to jeopardize their trust. And if you don't do it enough, you actually might alienate someone. So by developing a personal development plan, a leadership journey based on their drivers and motivators, you're actually going to build trust and culture and engagement. And the benefit of doing that is you're going to build loyal, qualified leaders in your business for when you return to full operation and capacity. In this plan, we will create challenges. This is different form of stress based on individual results. The challenges actually build trust, give responsibility, and let them know that you do trust them to be working at home. When you know someone's drivers and motivators, you can personalize what work you give them and how you build relationship. There are 12 drivers and motivators. People usually have a clear top 2 to 4. These are why people do what they do. Behavior is how they do it, but drivers are why they do it. People are not simply just motivated by money. They have a purpose. They have career goals. They have life goals. How their role in your business is fulfilling for them. And now it's changed. For example, we have a staff member, very high S and I, and really enjoys being around people, but now they're home alone. They are struggling to stay on their work and stay on task. With their manager and doing their psychometrics, we understand that one of their highest drivers is actually intellect, which means how are they going to get that now at home? We look at what was their behavior before. They would stick their head in the office of their manager and ask questions and learn and get their knowledge from that. But now we needed to develop a purposeful education plan so that we are still meeting that person's why. Intellect is sharing expertise and learning. Depending on the different motivators, people react differently to team trainings. Now, one of the biggest things we notice at the Cooler Chats, which used to think that that was unproductive, but it actually is part of people's motivators for being at work. Another driver can be status. How do you show status or get status while you're working remotely? How do we come up with a plan for them to be able to feel that why? Altruistic is another motivator. One example we had is an organisation. We recognised that was a motivator for quite a number of their staff. Their staff happen to be millennials, but I don't know if that's related. We'll have to do some more testing on that. But apart from that, it's about having a plan. And what we did for that organisation is develop charity and pro bono work within their company. It meant that their staff had purpose for being there. They wanted to be part of the community. They wanted to be able to give back to their charity that they were involved with. On a plus note, it also attracted people of that caliber to the business, and it became the employer of choice for people that had that similar driver. The 12 drivers in everyone are a combination. Just like the behavior styles, it's a combination. We can develop a plan keeping in mind your style, your behavior, and what motivates and keeps your employees focused and engaged. So what are the proactive steps that you're going to take to keep your employees engaged, motivated, and productive focused whilst working remotely? Keeping your employees engaged, motivated, and productive focused will take a plan. But the rewards are a great economic culture, innovations that you hadn't yet thought of, and creatively solving problems. It really is the human-to-human approach. Thank you, everyone. I'm Sarah Morgan.